Did I move it a bit? I think I moved it a bit. Is asking about the wood lip plate. So as it turns out, apparently the natural oils from my skin is enough to keep the lip plate healthy. So I don't actually really have to do anything to especially take care of it. When I take it in for COA, it will be oiled by the person working on it. That is absolutely wild that I can just not contort at all for that. Oh, you hear that? I can really push that. Like, I can actually push it the way I've been wanting to on other flutes. I know, those low notes, right, Joel? Yeah, it's because I can actually push it on this head joint in the way that my mouth wants to. Usually I don't let my mouth do what it's currently doing because it doesn't work on other head joints. So all right, now for some actual tone matching. How about trying it without vibrato? Ooh, that's a good suggestion. Good suggestion. Back to vibrato. Slightly a bit further up than I expect it to be, but it does feel more comfortable. So I'm so used to drawing it back more than I want to. Right there. A little sharper, yeah. how far forward I can place it, in case you guys are wondering. You can hear how it's far less resistant than my other head joint. Okay, so I think that one I need to learn to place. This is a hair tie just to hold it together. I combined two boxes to create this like longer box. I did this morning, guys. I had leftover padding from a different flute, so I just took that and carved out an opening, not very nicely as you can see, but I carved it out so it can hold my current head joint in here. It actually fits quite nicely in here. Oh man. So now it's nice and protected. It's not rolling around, and I don't have to like stick it in you know, bubble wrap and stuff. It's in a nice box. I'm not prepared for this, guys. I was expecting that maybe in the future I would just buy a head joint like box, like not even a case, just a box, just to have one on hand whenever I did want to try a head joint. But you know, desperate times calls for desperate measures. That's a lot further forward than on this head joint, but I'm still not quite sure of the exact placement of it. I do think that it's partially just the flute itself is not really geared towards playing those really high notes. So you can hear that the actual note itself is just fine. Okay, it's coming out a few times. I'm gonna guess that trying it out tomorrow will be even better, but I've gotten it out a few times now. I kind of know where it sits. It's more kind of in the middle of my mouth than further back, but I'm constantly trying to go further back because I kept training myself to do it that way. So I'm sort of like untraining. Yeah, that's way more forward than I'm used to. So I'm gonna have to train myself to do that, to like let myself do it more forward. You haven't seen any other flute head joint maker other than Mancke do this type of combination. Yeah, I agree. I've never seen this combination before. I also thought that his grenadilla wood lip plate was a very, very interesting design too, where like if I was a back player, I probably would have liked that one more. This is like the front playing version of that head joint. Really like how that sounds. Someone mentioned to do singing and playing, so let's try a bit of that and see what happens. My voice doesn't go that low. No. No. Okay, I'll try that. Ooh, I love that. That's so good. My gosh. Oh, that is so good. I really don't have to contort much at all, which is so weird for me. I guess to get used to my natural way of playing is my project for this week. I want to try a little bit of just quick tone work. Which is rose gold outside, darkened to a slightly deeper rose over time. That is so interesting. We have something to look forward to then. We can see how my head joint, I'm already calling it my head joint, that is really very dangerous. This head joint, if I buy it, we can see if it changes color over time. Yeah, so I definitely need to do tone exercises. Let's do Marcel Moyse's tone exercises. So this is from De La Sonorite. Moyse was a terrible flutist, but he worked so hard to improve his playing and to invent a flute method that he became a legend. Wow, I didn't know that. That almost makes me cry. Holy crap. Tomorrow's project will be hitting the high C on the harmonic and then continuing with De La Sonorite. Yeah. I have to keep reminding myself that I don't actually have to contort. Thanks, Nicholas. Yeah, okay. I'm definitely getting used to it. It's much further forward than I usually do on my other head joint. guys know what my decision is probably gonna be. So it's a little further forward than I think it is, but when I like try to go too far back, it's a little like too much. I can't wait until this is actually fits properly on my flute and it doesn't kind of feel like it's rolling around a little. Okay, that's coming out clearer too, you guys notice? I'm starting to get the hang of that placement. Okay, I think by tomorrow, those are gonna feel even better. If I know myself, I know that I just have to do like a little bit a day, and then it just like, it's as if my body just sort of like slowly acclimates to the flute. Let's just kind of hop into Della Sonorite, shall we? I'm starting at number 1, page 6, if you guys are following along. Let me just make sure my fingerport isn't digging into my... I'm starting to realize why my last fingerport had a corner of it just kind of chopped off, because I think my key just kind of chops off a corner of the fingerport. Whoopsies. Okay. So I have to remember nice front tonguing. Got to make that air pocket a little bit fuller. Let's do it with the metronome. So he's saying 60 beats per minute. The purity of the sound is making your keyboard vibrate under your fingers. Holy! This is the first time I've gone down note by note on this head joint, and the evenness throughout all of them is insane. Usually when I try a flute, I can kind of hear where the pivot point is between like low register notes and middle register notes. Usually it's around the E. It's like a D sharp-ish E around there. Sometimes F sharp G, depending on the flute. Whoops, I am shedding hair. In my review, I mentioned that these head joints have a very small margin of error due to the fact that they only use kind of part of your mouth to play. So this is a very front playing head joint. It only uses like the front 1/3-ish of your mouth, which is great for a smaller person like me. But because you're using a smaller area and you have smaller margin of error, the nice thing is that if you do know how to control the precise placement of notes, you don't have to change very much. But if you're not advanced enough, you wouldn't be able to feel the difference between tiny, tiny movements. Hence, a flute with a larger margin of error, it's easier to feel that you need to kind of pivot at a certain point. On this head joint, I almost feel like there's no pivot point because the margin of error is so small. The range from middle register G down to D, C sharp, C, usually you can really hear a difference between C sharp and D. D and D sharp / E flat tend to be a little bit thin, but they're not thin at all here. The E also tends to have a little bit of like a naturally thinner sound to it. And then on some flutes, the F sharp, and G also have that slightly thinner sound, but this is not happening on this head joint. My suspicion is that it's because of the very tiny margin of error between each note. Maybe on another player, they might feel the pivot point, but I'm not feeling a pivot point at all. This is the first head joint I've ever tried where there is no pivot point for me. Yeah, I can actually let my lower jaw like kind of do that, which I usually have to kind of squash that for other flutes. So too slow. I think, an old habit of smashing my jaw in. I think it's because my other head joint didn't work if I let that lower part be a little bit more open. So let's try a little bit more and then I really have to go. yeah, I can actually let my lower jaw just be where it wants to be now. That's great! All right, guys, we are working on a little bit of tone work de la Sonorite. If you guys are following along. Let's move this over to the side. There we go. I'm remembering a little bit more that I can allow my lower jaw to kind of come out a bit because it's okay with this head joint. Okay. All right, here we go. I think I'm pushing it too far forward. Like I'm trying too hard. Okay, I'm just going to fiddle around a little bit. Okay, I need to retrain myself to not work so hard on the D sharp and E, because the D sharp and E on my current head joint requires me to like fatten up the sound quite a bit in order for them to match the other notes around them. And I don't have to do that here. And in fact, when I do it too much, it kind of squashes the sound a little bit. So I have to just like let myself just play it without any kind of like added contortion inside of my mouth. So that's what I was playing around with right there. one breath. I'm not sure though. Yeah, no, I can't do it in one breath. I have to actually remind myself to not like going, whoa. Okay. Third time. Okay. Yeah, definitely is like a retraining process for me. Okay, so last one. I just need to figure out where I'm pushing it too much. All right. Page 9 and do basically the same thing but going higher. Very easy. Let's keep going. that it's like, it's not about the instrument, it's about the player, you know, like it's on you. You should be able to make even a piece of trash sound really good. But there are always two sides to the coin. On the one side of the coin, it's like, yeah, sure, you should be able to make any flute sound good, but the flip side of that coin is that you might not be very comfortable while doing it. And I feel that a lot of people mistake sounding good for comfortable. Since you guys see me every day, you guys can actually see that I actually feel comfortable on this, right? You can see my whole mouth is more relaxed. I'm not having to hold it in a certain position. I think that is probably a more nuanced view of the saying that it's about the player, not the instrument. Because I think you guys are experiencing it right along with me too. All right, and then we have one more set. It feels really comfortable. That is so comfortable. Marcel Moyse doesn't specifically say to use tone color here, but I do find that it works. This is going to be a doozy in terms of air support control. Here we go. Okay, so he's saying to repeat each slurred section. Okay, got it. Okay, so I should actually go back to the first one. Okay. Oh, wait a second. I just realized. Oh, he wrote out. Oh, Marcel Moyse. You kind man. You already know we are oxygen deprived doing this, so you just write it out. Oh. Okay, got it. I get it. Ooh, even when I'm running out of air, I can still control it. dang, 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 dang. That feels really good. Okay, we'll break before the next set. Wow, I can control the heck out of this. Tomorrow, Friday, we will bash through repertoire. I'm just gonna pull out random things from this pile here. Let's do some quick harmonics. Did I say my head joint? Yeah, of course I did. Freaking love this thing. Let's try out Bach, Sonata in D minor. Hell yeah. So something that I noticed was in this part where I go, the first time I did it, I actually overdid it because I was so used to having to make these huge changes between the intervals. But I don't have to make as crazy of a difference on this head joint. Oh. feels good. Let's play a bit of the second movement. I haven't played this in forever. Okay. Da. There we go. Sorry, there's a lot of mistakes in there. Okay. Gotta love that Bach was not shy to put in an augmented second there. About, you know, daily and long-term care for the lip plate, and Flute of New York mentioned that the natural oils from my chin should actually be enough to keep the wood healthy. And then what happens is that every year when I send it in for a COA, it will be oiled by the repair technician. They did mention though to just keep alcohol away from it, like rubbing alcohol, that type of stuff, because that will dry out the wood. And if you do find that it's a little too dry, you can use apparently 100% pure almond oil, just a tiny bit of it, to sort of like, you know, moisturize the wood a little. Let's try a bit of the Presto. Idea. Let's do a little bit of Mozart. Concerto in D major was the one that I grew up with, so let's go with that one. really don't need to do as much of a difference as I did before. I'm going to do that again and see if I can maybe not overdo it. Too low. Movement. Do solo work with this now. That's wild. I've never considered that. All right, let's do a bit of fast. Once more. Unlearn right there. Do you notice the second time was better? because I had to unlearn bringing my tongue back too far. Because now I can actually do it in the front of my mouth. That's technically the 2D part, so let's skip to the solo. Crazy. You like my eyebrows? Oh yeah, I got some musical eyebrows. There it is. Ah. Than I remember. So much so that I have to like unlearn a lot of the contortion that I used to do. You can always hear that the second time I do, like if I repeat something, the second time I do it, it's just a lot more comfortable. Chaminade it is. Let's do a bit of that. I feel like I can do both, and this is gonna sound awful, but let's pretend I'm blending to someone else. That's my blending sound. You hear how it's like, it doesn't sound as good like by itself, but that sound sounds really good when you pair it with someone else. You see how I can do that just on command? So this offers me that flexibility. Right. That's my fingers. And I don't have to do that anymore. Yes! Yeah! You hear that? I don't have to overdo that anymore. Okay. Sure. Let's try it on the Brandon head. It's brighter and a little less oomphy. The cut on the Mancke I think is better for me. I would not be surprised if someone out there had the exact polar opposite response. That like immediately is so much easier. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit because I want to try this cadenza. Okay. Oh. I agree with you that the Mancke is like what I could sound like if I was more amplified on this one. That's enough of that. Prokofiev. I've always had a problem with this one for the exact same reason. Like the going up and down, my lower octave is just not really coming out. I used to have a lot of problems with this piece. So let's see what we make of it now. definitely easier, but the fingerings, I've lost them all. Okay. A little too much. The next bit I used to have tons of problems with, so. Yeah, it's so clear. Yeah, like even the. So the problem there was that the E's, E, D sharp, and D were the thinnest note on this head joint. So I don't have to overdo them anymore. That's actually kind of wild that I can do that now. Oh. fingering for this. How did I finger this? I don't even remember how I fingered this. Da 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 da. What did I use the long B flat? I can get those high Ds no problem now. I'm missing some notes in between, but I can get it. Like almost no effort. That's ridiculous. We're gonna skip down. Oh, C sharp. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't actually have to work that hard. Underneath A flat, I would crack all of them. I can play this stuff. I can actually play this stuff. What the actual heck? I can play this? Cheat there anymore with the E. I used to not be able to play that. I don't know if I remember the fingerings. Ooh, ooh. Oh, too low. I legit could not play that. Sorry, lots of flats. Okay, I forgot the fingerings there. Sorry, guys. Recitals so much better. Oh my gosh! That is wild! I was just doing this again to make sure that it wasn't just a fluke, and I did it again. So easy now. I also could not play that. Hello. not gonna lie, there's a part of me that's so freaking annoyed that I actually could play this before, but like now I realize how important it is to find a head joint that actually fits you. Every single note came out. Oops, extra notes. Maybe I should give another recital. Okay, and then the rest of it is kind of more of the same. All right, okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, B flat lever. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm not playing any of this really correctly. I'm just seeing, like, because it has a lot of just seeing how this responds. Oh, sorry, I'm taking that way too fast. Is it too fast? D. No, it isn't. I did it right. flat. Sorry for all the mistakes. That part is definitely easier if I remember the fingerings. C sharp. I'm experimenting to see how much I don't actually have to move around too much. So that part was on the fault of my hands just weren't even coming up. Okay, I did do that right. Da, da. Okay. Oops, not too fast. forward a bit. I forget the trill fingering for high A to B. We're just gonna overblow an A. I think I did too many notes there. Let's just try the beginning of the Golden Flute Concerto. I can actually do that now. G, B. That sounded a lot better than when I used to do it. Oh, how did she want me to finger this? Okay. So apparently getting a head joint that fits you can also make your flutter tonguing better. I'm glad I tried this today. practice that again. You like that? It's actually written in the music to do that. I'm shaking my head because I just realized how much better I could have played it. I'm almost angry at myself for not realizing that finding an appropriate head joint for me can make such a difference, if that makes sense. I feel really weird about that because part of me knows that before this year, I would not have had the funds to purchase this head joint. Part of me is like, okay, this is fantastic timing for me to accidentally find it now. But at the same time, going back into my old music, I'm just like, what? I can actually play the parts that I had so much trouble with. Whenever I listen to recordings of those pieces that I just played for you guys, you know, and then they would, the recordings always had the flutist like playing really crisp and cleanly in that middle register that I had a lot of problems with. That range there was always the absolute worst for me. If ever I had to jump down to it, I would almost always miss it. So what I had been doing over the last year or two that I finally have been practicing again, I was just like, well, this is one of my flute's like weaknesses, so I just kind of have to live with it. So I just trained myself to have to like hit those at very specific target points in my mouth, which of course detracts from making music, right? Because essentially you're just target practicing. That's all you're doing. All the recordings that I heard, these were people who were on instruments that chose them. You know, now that I have finally experienced it for myself, it's so freaking true. If you find an instrument that fits you naturally, you really don't have to like go crazy worrying about target practicing certain notes, you know? Like you can really just have fun with the music. I really legitimately thought that I can't play some parts. No matter what I did, it just was not as easy as how everyone else did it. It's wild to know that I can. If I'm being completely transparent, like I will listen to my students playing stuff and I'm just like, yo, I can't play that. Like I know exactly which notes I will crack and I know exactly how my low register will sound if I get down there too fast. Part of the reason for doing the Ibert was to kind of, I guess, address that fear. But then now I realize that it's not so much a targeting issue as much as it's my head joint didn't fit me kind of issue. I almost feel a little ripped off, if that makes sense. Like I ripped myself off. You didn't actually have to work that hard. But the next thought that comes to my mind though is it is a good thing that I went through 11 years of being on an instrument that doesn't really fit me, because it did force me to learn how to work with my flute, which is mostly what I do with my students, is I help them learn to work with their flute. If that was the price for being a better teacher, then I'm glad I paid it. Part of me is like, oh man, I now need to go around telling my students, and I have started doing this, that you can go 11 years playing the same head joint and in the end, you'll still not fit it. If something doesn't fit you, it doesn't fit you. You can make it work. It's almost like if you were to rent a dress or a suit and then you had it kind of temporarily pinned to fit you. Like that's kind of how it felt. It wasn't truly custom altered to you. It's like finding the perfect shoe that fits and doesn't hurt. The moment you find a shoe that actually fits you and doesn't hurt, even though before you were okay with all of your other shoes, they all feel uncomfortable afterwards. I went back to my other head joint and I was just like, I'm already used to the new one. That's what was going through my head when I kind of stopped talking and I was just playing. Like, I realized I kind of got sucked into the music there for a while, and was just kind of sucked into my own thoughts. Now I know that when you find the head joint that actually fits you and you can control it, then to you, it will feel like you can do anything on it. Maybe not for someone else though. To be transparent with you guys, this is the last practice stream for this trial, but it won't be the last practice session for me. I will see you guys on Monday with the final verdict. Thank you for sharing this moment with me too. I do want to say I really appreciate it. Hello, friends. Sorry to keep you waiting, but I was making a very important payment. It's mine, officially. I literally just paid it like 5 minutes ago.